Thank you, Yasmin. Thank you, everybody, for attending again today. We've taken some other feedback on board, so I will still be presenting in English, because I don't speak Arabic, unfortunately, but Yasmin has kindly agreed to translate for us, so thank you very much, Yasmin.
You're welcome, Paul. I'm your assistant.
Thank you. So Basil spoke in great depth and great detail to explain part of the Google solution, which is Google Workspace. And that's very much where the learning happens. It's where the interaction happens between the teachers and the students. I'm going to be speaking about a different part of the Google Education solution today, which is the Google Chromebook, which is the physical hardware, the laptop or tablet that the students and the teachers can use to fully make the most of the Google Education solution.
بول بيتكلم ان هو هيتكلم عن موضوع من جوجل ايضا، ولكن حل مختلف عن اللي باسل قدمه اللي هو جوجل كلاس روم. فهيتكلم النهارده عن الحاجه اللي هي ملموسه، وهي كروم بوك، وده عباره عن جهاز. فهيتكلم عنه ازاي يستخدمه المعلم والطالب ليوصل لاحسن فعاليه داخل الصف.
Okay, some of you may be familiar with this concept, but it's the mantra behind everything that Google does. It's called the 10x approach. So Google only enters a market or develops a tool if they think they can do it 10 times better than what exists. So Google identified that most of the operating systems that currently exist were actually designed and built pre-internet. So we think of things like Windows and Apple OS, etc. They were fundamentally created in the 1980s and 90s, pre-internet. And Google, being an internet company, realized that the future isn't offline, the future's online. It's about being connected and having access to everything that you need, wherever you are at any time.
بيتكلم انه معظم الاجهزه الموجوده اللي بنستخدمها حاليا سواء مايكروسوفت او ابل اي او اس والانظمه دي كلها اتصممت في الثمانينات والتسعينات ما قبل الانترنت. لكن الكروم بوك او جوجل شايف ان المستقبل في ان احنا نكون اونلاين معظم الوقت، فصمموا الجهاز على انه يكون تصميمه مبني على انه اونلاين معظم الوقت.
Fantastic. So Google completely redesigned an operating system for the future, and that operating system was Chrome OS. I'm going to show a very short video. The video is in Arabic, and it gives you a brief overview of how the Chrome operating system and the Chromebook is different to how everything else is out there.
Chromebook أجهزة قوية ببساطة، قوية بما يكفي للتعامل مع أهم معلوماتك، ومسمعة للاستعمال السهل. Chromebook تشغل كروم OS مدمجة بتطبيقات جوجل. هذا سريع، سهل وآمن. هؤلاء الشركاء يتعاملون مع جوجل وهي معهم أيضا. فيما كرومبوك يختلف، كل شيء سهل. يمكنك الحفاظ على جميع معلوماتك بمجرد الولوج إلى حسابك جيميل في أي كمبيوتر كيفما كان، والحماية ضد الفيروسات مدمجة بداخله، فلا تخاف أبدا. سيوفر لك الكثير من الوقت، وكرومبوك يستغرق مجرد بعض الثواني لتشغيله، ففي لمسة واحدة يمكنك استيعاب معلوماتك الشخصية بكاملها كالملفات والتطبيقات والإجابات. وعلى عكس ما نرى عادة، فكرومبوكس يمكنه إجراء تحديث في نفس الوقت الذي أنت تشتغل فيه. فماذا يمكنك أن تفعل بكرومبوك؟ يحتوي كل التطبيقات الأساسية التي تحتاجها، وهو للعمل، للمدرسة، للاستمتاع الشخصي، ويمكنك تحديث صور، وهذا رائع جدا. ألعاب جديدة، أو أيضا الاتصال بالأقارب، وهذا ما يجب أن تعرفه بخصوص كرومبوكس. قوي، بسيط، وهي الطريقة الجديدة للكمبيوتر.
Okay, so Chromebooks have really revolutionized education. They're now the most used education device in several countries around the world, including the US, Canada, Sweden, Spain, I believe, Japan. And the reason behind that is because they are just so simple and future-proof and easy to use. So there are now over 40 million Chromebooks in use in education every single day. And during the pandemic, that almost doubled. Do you have the next
Okay,
one?
I'll translate.
Oh, sorry.
So, بيتكلم انه بول بيقول انه كروم بوك عمل ثورة في عالم التعليم والتعلم. انتشر في بلدان مثل اسبانيا واليابان والدول اللي هو ذكرها لانه سهل الاستخدام. هو ده السبب الاساسي في انتشار كروم بوك. 40 مليون طالب بيستخدموا كروم بوك ونحن نتحدث الان.
Thank you. So just like Google Workspace, the Chromebook is designed around 4 key principles: to be simple, affordable, secure, and shareable. And as Basil mentioned, there is no user manual for Gmail. And just the same with the Chromebook, there is no need for a user manual because it's designed to be simple and easy for anybody to use, so that any student or teacher can open their Chromebook and start working, start teaching, or students can start learning straight away. The Chromebook is guaranteed to boot in 6 seconds. So from completely off to completely on, ready to start learning in the classroom is only 6 seconds. I'm sure you're all familiar with other operating systems, and that's just not the case. So it's designed to be instant and ready to use. It's designed to be quick and easy to deploy, so that if you were to roll out a Chromebook and put a Chromebook in the hand of every single student in your school, you can do that within days, within a day. You can put the device in the hand of the student, have it set it up, and for it to be secure instantly. It's designed to be affordable. Every student should have the opportunity to be able to use the device to access their learning. The Chromebooks themselves start from less than $200. So the reason why so many schools and ministries of education across the world have been able to adopt the Chromebook is also because of the price. It means it's affordable and a device can be made available to every single student. It's secure. Sorry, Yasmin, I sped along.
It's okay.
Okay. It's designed to be secure. Virus protection is built in. It's impossible for a student or a virus to be able to be installed in a Chromebook, which means there is no downtime. They are safe when they're using the device. And with the security, as I mentioned in the video, the Chromebook never needs to be updated. It's automatically updated in the background, so you don't receive the pop-up window saying, please update now. There's downtime in the class. Could take 10 to 15 minutes to update the operating system. With the Chromebook, you don't have that. It's always updated in the background, it's always secure, it's always working on the latest version.
You want to speak about shareable and then I will translate.
The Chromebook doesn't have to just be used on a one-to-one basis. Ideally, every student should have a device, but that's not always the case. It's not always possible. So Chromebooks are designed to be shareable. If I logged into this Chromebook now, with my account, I would have access to all of the applications that were available for my account. If I was then to give that same Chromebook to a student, and the student was to log in, they would only have access to the applications that that particular account gives them access to. So if we think of a school scenario, if we have some charging carts and the Chromebooks are shared, and lesson number 1, a grade 7 student is using the Chromebook, when that grade 7 student logs in, they have the grade 7 applications. The very next lesson, a grade 10 student could log in, the same device, and they would only have access to the applications that they're allowed to have access to. So it's completely shareable.
Okay, thank you. So, بداية بول بيقول إنه الكروم بوك عمل ثورة في عالم التعليم والتعلم. وده من خلال 4 محاور أساسية، وهي إن هو سهل الاستخدام، قليل التكلفة، آمن، وسهل المشاركة. يفتح في 4 ثواني فقط، فده معناه إن هو سريع جدا. خلال الحصة لو الطالب جالس داخل الصف، المعلم قال لهم زي ما طلع كتابك بيطلعه من الشنطة ويقدر يفتح اللابتوب في 4 ثواني، يقدر إن هو يشتغل وينفذ المهام. ايضا هو سريع جدا، فيقدر الطالب سريع ايضا في انه الطالب يتعلم استخدامه. فخلال يوم واحد تقدر المعلم يقدر يدرب الطلاب على طريقه استخدامه، على ازاي اكسس ويوصل، يعني سهوله الوصول للتطبيقات المحمله على الجهاز. النقطه الثالثه الثانيه وهو انه قليل التكلفه. فهو بيقول is $200 starting or
Yes.
يبدأ من حوالي يعني 80 ريال في السعر ده، فهو قليل التكلفة جدا انه نقدر يعني نجيبه العدد من الطلاب في الصف. آمن، هو مصمم انه لا يعطى بسهولة، فمصمم داخله مضاد فيروسات ويحدث تلقائيا، فهو دائما محدث. سهل المشاركة، ودي آخر ميزة. المعلم هو أصلا مصمم إن هو يكون جهاز للمشاركة، فالمعلم عنده حساب يقدر ينزل تطبيقات على حسابات طلابه. وقال مثال إنه إذا 2 على سبيل المثال إخوات، واحد صف رابع واحد صف عاشر، صف رابع هيعمل لوج إن، هيدخل على أبليكيشنز معينة. لو عمل لوج اوت دخل اخوه اللي في صف عاشر هيلاقي ابلكيشنز تانية اللي المعلم شاركها معاه. فكل واحد ليه تجربة فريدة مخصصة ليه ومشاركة مع المعلم. Yes, I'm done.
Thank you. So the Chromebooks themselves come in all different shapes and sizes. So this particular one I have, it works and operates just as a normal laptop would. So keyboards are still fantastic for students to create content. Unfortunately, there is still no better way actually than a keyboard to complete large assignments and large amounts of text. But that being said, there are applications and other uses for a device where a touchscreen is needed. So the majority of devices now, of Chromebooks, are 360 convertible. So you have the best of both worlds. You can create the content and use it as a standard laptop when you wish. You also have the option to use it as a touchscreen, a tablet when needed. And most of the Chromebooks now come with a stylus pen. And as Basil mentioned, when we're doing things like equations, a pen and touchscreen is the best tool to be able to do equations. The same for artwork, digital artwork, Arabic letters. So the Chromebook is designed to be multifunctional. It can operate as a traditional laptop. It can operate as a tablet, a tent mode, and also a stylus pen. There are also education-specific Chromebooks. So we know that accidents can happen. Students, let's say, may drop their Chromebook or their device. Students may leave their device out in the car, in the heat and in the sun. So the Chromebooks are built to military-grade specification, which means that they can withstand drops on the floor. It means they can withstand temperatures up to 50 degrees.
معظم أجهزة كروم بوكس مصممة إنك تقدر تستخدمها بمرونة، تقدر تكون تابلت أو الشكل العادي لللابتوب، وأيضا في بعض منها مصمم بقلم لاستخدامه في كتابة المعادلات أو المسائل الرياضية. وفي كروم بوكس مصممة خصيصا للتعليم أو للطلاب في المدارس، بمعنى اسلوب الاستخدام للطلاب طبعا عارفين يقدر ممكن ينساه في مكان حر او يقع في الارض، فهو مضاد ايضا للكسر، مقاوم للحراره، وبيتحمل الظروف اللي ممكن الطالب يضع فيها او يسوء استخدام الكمبيوتر فيها، فهو عالي التحمل لهذه الظروف. Yes.
Thank you. So the real power of the Chromebook when used in education is the ability of the school or the teacher to be able to control what the student can and can't do on that particular device. So if we, for example, pushed out 2,000 Chromebooks and every single student in the school had a Chromebook, you as a school and as a teacher still have control over what student can do on the device. So using something called the Chrome Device Management License, we can do several policies. I think it's over 290 policies we can control on that device. So let's say we would like every single student to use a particular application on their Chromebook. We can instantaneously select the application and it's pushed out to all of those devices ready for the students to use. Let's say, for example, we want to limit the number of websites that the students can access. Whenever the students are using their device, using the Chrome Education Management policies, we can restrict what websites they can visit. So we can safely say, whenever a student is using a Chromebook, whether in school or at home or anywhere in the world, they are safe and secure. They can only be using that device for things that the school have allowed them to have access to. And this is very powerful for parents as well. So we know, and many of you are probably parents here as well, your child or the student may be doing homework, or they might not be. They might have a game open on a separate tab, and every time you go across, they close the game. If they're using their Chromebook, they can only be doing the schoolwork or the assignments or accessing the websites that the school has allowed them to have access to.
Paul, this is very important, and I want to make a discussion about that. Is it because most of the students now you limit and so on, but then they download a VPN or something? Would that also tweak around it, or it will also try to look the device itself? How it works?
Good question.
Thank you.
So, and as we know, this happens. In other operating systems, it's possible to get around the security measures, VPNs, logging in with a different account. Because the Chrome operating system is built for the future and is built around the cloud, that's impossible. So they cannot get around these restrictions using a VPN. They cannot get around the restrictions by logging in with a different account. Everything the student does on that device is completely controlled. They cannot download applications they're not supposed to. They cannot access the websites that they're not supposed to.
That's good news.
It is.
That's really good news.
There is an option when, if needed to, there's a timed policy. And this happens. Some schools say, okay, during the school hours, we only want them to have access to these applications. But actually, when they're at home, it's okay for them to have access to a few different games and entertainment. You can also do that as well. So you can completely lock it down, you can completely leave it open, or you can do a mix of the two. You can do timed-based policies.
Okay, that's very, very interesting. It seems like it's safe for children
Yes.
to be used. So that's actually solving the main issue. Parents are concerned, and even teachers, that students are using technology, but at the same time accessing games, websites that we're not sure of, or so this will limit and will just make it for the purpose of education.
Yes.
Okay, that's great.
And very much, I mean, you can think of it more as a textbook. It's a Chromebook, but it's a textbook for educational purposes. And just like a textbook, they can only be doing the things that are available in the textbook. They can only read the things that are in the textbook. When using the Chromebook, they can only be doing the things that the school has made available on that particular Chromebook.
Okay, I'll translate and then كل معلم يقدر يرفع تطبيق معين لجميع الطلاب مهما كان العدد، حتى لو عدد كبير من الطلاب 1000 طالب. كإدارة مدرسة تقدر، مش هقول لكل طالب نزل التطبيق على الحساب، لا، بحساب الادمن او حساب الرئيسي للمدرسه او الحساب الاداري او حساب المعلم نفسه، يقدر على سبيل المثال يبعت لهم تطبيق معين هيستخدموه في الصف من خلال الواجهه بتاعه الاداري او التحكم. في الكروم بوك ايضا يقدر، ودي النقطة اللي اتناقشنا فيها، انه يقدر يتحكم في المواقع اللي بيدخل فيها الطالب، ويقدر يتحكم في اي تطبيقات يقدر ينزلها. كان بيحكي انه على سبيل المثال يمكن الطالب قاعد يقول لوالده انا فاتح الكتاب على الكمبيوتر وبذاكر، يروح ولي الامر الولد يفتح اللعبة ويجلس يلعب. ودي متهيألي مشكلة كلنا بنواجهها. يعني بليز لو اي حد عنده التحديات دي في المدارس بتواجهوها تشاركونا النقاط دي، على اساس نعرف ازاي نقدر نكون عندنا تطبيق للتكنولوجيا مع رقابة في نفس الوقت. اتكلم انه تقدر تتحكم في المواقع وفي التطبيقات اللي يقدر ينزلها الطالب على الكمبيوتر. فسألته انه معظم الطلاب دلوقتي بقوا يتحايلوا على هذا الموضوع، حتى في يعني برامج او العاب محظوره في عمان بينزلوا VPN يلا كلنا متهيألي عارفين الموضوع ده. لكن هو فاجئني جدا انه الجهاز نفسه، علشان كده هو هاردوير، والجهاز نفسه بيمنع دخول الطالب على اي حاجه غير الحساب بتاعه وغير الجهاز بتاعه، طالما هو مش معطي الصلاحيه لتنزيل هذه المواقع. واضاف انه في مدارس بتحب تقول انا اقدر اعمل التحكم هذا وقت الدراسه، وقت المدرسه في الصباح، من مثلا من الساعه 7 الى الساعه 2 او 3، وبعد ذلك هو حر. في ناس بتفكر كده او ادارات بتفكر كده، وفي ناس تقول لا انا طالما الجهاز معاه انا هحضره طول الوقت او طول اليوم، فتقدر تعمل حظر مخصص لوقت ايضا. فصراحه احنا شايفين في دي ميزه رائعه. هل حد فيكم عنده حاجه من التحديات دي في المدرسه او حابب يشاركها معانا؟ Anyone wants the microphone? Okay. If you get any questions or things come to you, just raise your hands and the mic. Yeah, someone is here. حد هيشاركنا. تفضل. عرفينا بنفسك.
أيوة. إيمان القضاء من مدرسة مدينة السلطان قابوس الخاصة. Actually, I'm suffering with my students because they used to open YouTube sometimes during the class time and they play games. So actually you said that we can customize their access during to specific hours. Who will be responsible about changing the policies for the students? Or is it something that will be installed or done for one time, then automatically we will allow the students, for example, to play games in a specific time? Will I have the access as a teacher or as IT administrator or whom?
Both. So it depends on the individual school of how they would like to set it up. So they may have a school policy, and that school policy may be more open, if you like. And even the policy, it can be based on the age group of the students. So if, for example, a grade 7 student logged into a Chromebook, they would have access to the applications and the websites that you've allowed a grade 7 student to have access to. And then a grade 8, you may give them more access, and a grade 9, and so on and so on. So you can set a policy for the school, which will depend on their grade, but then also individually during the lesson, you can also restrict what's happening on the device. So you mentioned YouTube, for example. It could be that in a particular lesson, you only want them to have access to 5 different YouTube videos. So in that case, you can restrict YouTube for that lesson and say, these are the 5 YouTube videos that I would like you to have access, and you approve those 5 videos just for that one lesson. So the answer is both. You can do it as a school, or you can do it individually as a teacher.
Okay, sir. So the last question is that, do you offer training for teachers or administrators on how to set up these policies?
Yes, we do. I'll just skip forward. The big part, and that's a really good question. The Google Education platform is fantastic. It's transforming education across the world. The Google Education device is amazing. It's doing exactly the same. But the technology is only as good as how the teachers know how to use it. So a big part of what we do actually is providing the training and the support for the schools and the teachers to be able to embrace the technology to improve teaching and learning. So we provide a lot of training, which is something called Google Certified Educator Level 1, Google Certified Educator Level 2. So these are industrial qualifications by Google. They are practical courses, which is all about using the technology and the devices. And at the end, there's an examination, and you receive a certificate to become a Google Certified Educator. And there's 2 levels, level 1 and level 2. And what we would then like to do is to take some people to the next level for them to become Google Certified Trainers. So within every school, what we would recommend is every teacher should become certified to level 1. 50% of the teachers should probably be certified to level 2. And then you have 2 or 3 teachers within each school that are actually Google trainers. so that when we step away in the future, you have all of the resources and the knowledge within the school and the trainers that are certified by Google in the school to continue to be able to use the solution. So every time something new is added, and every 6 weeks the Google solution is updated, new things are added, you have the trainers and the expertise in the school to be able to continue to train the rest of the staff.
اوكي بالنسبه للسؤال كان عن تدريب المعلمين صح؟ انت سالتي ايوه كان عن هل جوجل بيوفر خدمه تدريب المعلمين عن التحكمات، لان هي كانت بتسال في البدايه مين مسؤول عن اي صلاحيات، توزيع الصلاحيات، مين مسؤول عن رفع تطبيق معين، ومين هيدرب المعلمين على طريقه اعطاء الصلاحيات او مشاركه التطبيقات او كل هذا. وكان الرد رائع. You said 50-50 50 level 1 50 level 2
100% level 1 and 50% level 2 is the idea. So level 1 is the basic course and level 2 is the higher level.
Level 2 is the higher.
Yes.
And how much of the teachers should be level 1 and level 2?
All of the teachers should be level 1 and then half of them should be the higher level.
وكان ادى ملاحظه حلوه جدا، وده خبر جميل للمعلمين انه يقدروا ياخدوا سيرتيفيكت من خلال منصه جوجل كمدرب جوجل. فهو بيتكلم انه اذا في مدرسه حابه تطبق كروم بوكس مع الطلاب او مع المعلمين، معظم المعلمين او كل المعلمين المفروض يكونوا المستوى الاول اللي هو اول مرحله. 50% منهم يتاهل الى ليفل 2 اللي هي المرحله الثانيه او المستوى الاعلى في التدريب، ويكون في واحد او اثنين حسب طبعا عدد المعلمين في المدرسه بيسموهم جوجل ترينرز او مدربي جوجل، ودول المفروض اللي هم خبراء اللي بيكونوا داخل المدرسه. فكل ما جوجل بتنزل ابديت او تحديث بتدرب الجوجل ترينرز اللي داخل المدرسه عليها، وهم بيدربوا البقيه. فده شيء جميل ان التيتشرز يسعوا انهم يكونوا جوجل ترينرز يعني داخل المدرسه. انا شايفه ان دي حاجه في الانماء المهني رائعه. I'm just saying it's a good opportunity for teachers to use this opportunity for training as a professional development for them, right? So are there any, like, if my school is not applying now and I want to make an inception for this idea in the school as a frontier or initiator, can I just apply on Google training and just get certified, then go to the school and say I'm certified and I would like to spread this culture here in the school? أنا كنت بسأل إنه هل في إمكانية إذا أنا يعني أكيد مش الوضع إن في كل المدارس مطبقة دلوقتي جوجل أو الكروم بوكس. طيب أنا كمعلم حابب أكون رائد وحابب أكون بأبادر بهذه التجربة في مدرستي، وده شيء جميل كموظف إن أنا أدخل ما هو جديد داخل المنظمة أو المدرسة اللي أنا فيها. فهل ممكن أخد بس تدريب لوحدي أو أقدم عليه على المنصة على موقع جوجل وهم يعطوني الشهادة وأنا أقول لمدرستي إن أنا مؤهل لأكون الخبير جوجل في داخل المدرسة؟
Yes,
The same question.
It's a fantastic idea. So all of the resources are available online on the Google Education website. So you can work your way through the material. It's available in English and the Arabic language. And the examination is also available in Arabic. So you can take the courses yourself. We also run organized training sessions, so webinars in Arabic, so that you can attend the webinars online. We take you through all the training course, and again, you can sit the examination at the end. So end of my presentation, I will leave my details on the screen. If any of you are interested in becoming Google Certified Educators, level 1 or level 2, or Google Certified Trainers, please do take my details, and we can help and guide you through the process.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Thank you, Paul. Thank you for Google, and thanks for Google Assistant we have here as a human being.
Thank you.
My name is Saeed Salti. Actually, I have questions since yesterday from your last day presentation, but because it's already postponed for today's discussion. I have 3 questions. Question 1, yesterday you mentioned, and even today you already mentioned again, you mentioned that Windows and iOS as operating system, which have Internet Explorer, or now it's Edge, okay, and Safari, are very old, from 80s and 90s. And now we are in the third decade of 21st century. Do you mean that those are outdated, or what? This is my first question. Because as we know, last week or last 2 weeks, I guess that the Internet Explorer is already burned, and it has its own grave there in America. Okay? So this is my question. Yes, we respect that. What Google is doing is very amazing things. What do we need? What the consumers or the customers, do they need? Google is always approaching to provide the latest technologies, latest services required from different perspectives. So this is my first question. Second question, or you will answer this first?
I might forget if you don't mind, I'll go with that one first. So the Chrome operating system, Chrome OS, is the only operating system for PCs and laptops that was created in this millennium. So Windows, if you like, was very much designed in the 1980s, and it's changed and it's evolved over time, but fundamentally it's the same. So Google wanted to kind of revolutionize and build it around the future, which is the internet. Every single day, everyone in this room will connect to the internet in some way. It could be for communication, it could be for using things like WhatsApp, it could be watching Netflix, it could be searching the web, it could be going on YouTube, it could be various different things. But everybody does. We live in a completely connected world. And the Chrome operating system was built around that as a foundation. That the majority of what we do in our lives now is on the internet. I mean, with our mobile phones, fantastic. But if we don't have internet connection or a phone signal on our mobile phones, we can't really do much with it. Mobile phones are built around connectivity. The future is all around connectivity, and the Chrome operating system is built around that fact.
Okay. Because you mentioned now the connectivity now, for example, if I use the Chromebox, okay, not as student or only teacher. I'm not student or teacher or having a private school, because I'm working the technology sector in the last decade, okay? So I like to use the latest things for different sectors and to know and understand and to be or to spread the awareness for whoever asking me as a technologist. If I have this device, can I use it or to download other applications, for example, because I'm using different applications, and I need to have those applications in my different devices, whatever I'm using. So to have the accessibility wherever I am, whenever I want. Okay? Is there any restrictions in this device that will prevent me to download those?
You mean compatibility, like iOS applications? Or
No. I'm speaking about applications. Whatever is opened in tablet or in mobiles, because we can use it as a laptop or as a tablet, right? So. Because some devices that they have restrictions, no, it cannot be using this one, you cannot download this, and so on. Because I guess one. Mine? Okay, no problem. You can.
Do you mind if I ask which mobile phone do you use?
I have iPhone. I'm using Android also.
Okay.
I am welcoming any platform.
Okay.
I have no objection. And at home I have, I'm using Windows. I have also MacBook, and I have Ubuntu. Because I am a software engineer and programmer, so I like to use different things.
Okay, I really like that answer. And the Chromebook and the Google operating system, it isn't designed to be restrictive. The same way you can use Google Workspace on any device. It doesn't have to be used on a Chromebook. You can use it on Windows, you can use it on a Mac, you can use it on an Android phone, you can use it on any device. The Chromebook as well, it isn't designed to be restrictive just to Google products. That being said, Android is also Google. So if you have a Samsung mobile phone or any mobile phone other than an iPhone, you're using the Google Play Store. So all of the applications that you can use from the Google Play Store, millions and millions and millions, are also available on the Chromebook, but in a controlled way. So the students can only use the Android applications that the school would like them to be able to use. Also, there's the Google Cloud Store, which is all the applications available there, and any application which is web-based. And the big movement now is happened. Probably 95% or 99% of all applications now are web-based. The times have changed really of when we download and install a particular application on a particular device. It's about being able to have access to all of your applications regardless of what device you're using. So if I use something like Netflix, for example, or YouTube, I could pick up my mobile phone and I could watch all the videos from YouTube from my playlist. I could move over to my laptop and I could continue to watch that same video from my laptop. I could move onto my television that's connected to my Wi-Fi and continue. So it's about being able to have your applications wherever you are on whichever device that you're using. So it's not designed to be restrictive. Actually, it's designed to be inclusive in the sense that your applications and whatever you're using should be available anywhere, anytime, on any device.
Just the last question, I don't want to take others' time. Recently, beginning of this year, I started to use as a browser Brave and Opera, if you have background about them, because they are built to enable people to use Web3, which already is a trend now for Web3, and to move the existing application from Web2 to Web3. So what about the Google? Because what I read maybe 4 months before that, they started to have their researches to move from whatever now the technology to Web3 and for the cryptocurrency, to invest for the cryptocurrency in blockchain and so on. So where is Google now in this?
In all honesty, I'm not quite sure where they are in that process at the moment. It could be something that we can have a conversation with about afterwards. But we're aware of Google. Generally, it's always leading the way. And I'm sure that they are doing something with it right now. But let's have a chat afterwards and we can discuss it a bit more.
Sure.
Thank you, Paul, so much for this session. And it was really, really enriching for everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yasmin, for translating
You're welcome.
today. Thank you.